What's up guys, it's your girl Favorazzia here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to the family. How are you guys doing? So today's video is about my bed story, my crazy bed story. Welcome. Grab a seat. Let's toast to some water, some wine, some juice, some tea. I don't know what you're holding, but let's get into it. As you all know, my 10th trimester ended early. Backstory, I was diagnosed with preeclampsia. It's not fun because you're swollen. I was dealing with the swelling from the chemical burn, the swelling from preeclampsia, the high blood pressure, and all the crazy stuff. Coming out from my last video. So on Monday, my blood pressure was so freaking high, I decided to check myself in. That's a lie. My blood pressures were so freaking high. I called the hospital and they told me to go into triage to the main hospital, which I did go. I went there. They do 4 blood pressure checks. They did the 4 blood pressure checks. I had 1 high and 3 lows, and so they sent me back home. When I say 3 lows, it means it was less than 160. Okay, before sending me back home, they did tell me, oh, by the way, you're getting induced on Friday, because Friday was my 37 week mark. Apparently, once you hit 37 weeks and you have preeclampsia, they do induction, which would have been good to know earlier on rather than telling me the week off, right? So I did schedule my induction for Friday right around 8:30 p.m. So before I left, they asked me when my next appointment with my doctor was, and I said it was Tuesday, which was pretty much the next day. And so they said, okay, just keep your appointment, and in case anything changes, you will come back in. So going back home, I knew, okay, I had planned, okay, I have my induction on Friday, so on Tuesday after my appointment, I will go get my nails done and my brows, and then on Wednesday, which I had off, I was going to do my hair. My plan was to be those bad and bougie mamas that when people come and take videos or photos of me, I'll be looking, nobody wanted to be looking messy, but guess what? I was looking messy because all that did not happen. So come Tuesday morning, I did take my blood pressure. It was like 140s over 100 and something. So I was like, okay, we're good, we're looking good. Just for me to go into the hospital and nothing was looking good. Okay, nothing. So they did check 3 times my blood pressure and it was not good, both arms, and it was still the same. So the nurse practitioner who saw me that day was like, I don't feel comfortable sending you back home, I'm sorry, you have to go straight to the hospital. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I went to the hospital, and obviously they did the 4 checks again, and it did not turn out so well like it did last time. And so they were like, I'm sorry, but we're inducing you tonight. I was like, so before they even started the induction, they did do like a cervical swab. That shit hurt. No one told me that that's how bad it hurt. I was like, goodness gracious. And I was 1 centimeter dilated. They admitted me, then started me off with the 4 pills that they're supposed to give before the induction, before the IV. So they gave the 4 pills starting that night into the next day. After that, they checked again and it was still the same. Also, no one told me how much blood gushes out when they do the cervical swab, because dang, before they could find IVs, it was hell, because like I said, I was swollen so bad. I was so swollen I couldn't even walk. My last weight that I took before the whole thing went down was 200. I did not know I was gonna hit 200, guys. I hit 200. I'm normally 130 something, but right before I got pregnant, I was like in my 140s. So reaching 200 was like, are you kidding me? I was so filled with fluid. Everyone was like, that's crazy, they haven't seen this fluid, someone filled with fluid this much. Finding IVs in me was practically impossible. So I had 1 here, I had 1 here, and then luckily They were able to find one on my arm, and so they kept those 3. But you know, you lose IV sites. They were coming in to get blood every single time. I was so tired of being poked, and they couldn't find a vein, so they kept poking me the same area. So I was like so frustrated about that as well. When I was still on like the oral, my contractions were so controlled. I was breathing through it. The contraction lines were all good. The baby was all good. And then when we started the IV, at the beginning it was all good, but then the contractions became very intense. Later that evening, the contractions were unbearable. I'm telling you, I've never had contractions before, so I don't know how they're supposed to feel like, but I know they were unbearable. When I was having my whole birth plan, I had said I did not want an epidural, but I have a very, very high tolerance of pain. My mom can swear on this. But do you guys know, I couldn't, like, walking to the toilet was ridiculous. The pain was so bad, I couldn't even think about the pain anymore. Like, nothing was making sense to me. So at some point, while that IV was going, they did put in that balloon to help with like dilation. There's a balloon they kind of put in there, but it did not help. I don't know, I can't remember, honestly. I really cannot remember some certain aspects of the whole birthing plan because I was in just so much pain. But all I know is one time I went to pee and I had a gush come out and the balloon came out as well, and so they told me, okay, that means your water just broke. And so I was like, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So if that was your water that broke, that balloon made me so sore.
She ready to be that.
You forget what's coming out of there.
Mary's daddy. Grandma for the 100th. But this special grandma because last speaking. Her back upwards.
Okay, all the way back.
Are you okay with that? Do you give consent?
I'm fine. I give my
Okay.
consent.
Thank you. Thanks to Miss Eileen. She's been an awesome nurse. She gives her consent to put on the video.
Right? 1, 2, 3, get up.
Has been Kelly's nurse the entire day. And her water just broke. So that's where we are right now. Water just broke. So it means Amira is coming anytime soon. How do you feel? She definitely looks like a pregnant woman for sure. Hi Kelly. Awesome. Amira's heartbeat very nice and strong. Alright, I'm just wrapping the leg up so minimize the swelling. For now, to the babies. So when it's time for the baby to come out.
Oh yeah, they did help. They did put in the balloon to help with my water breaking and stuff as well. So it burst. It came gushing out. I was in so much pain, guys. Like, I can't even tell you guys how much pain I was in. At this point, I was like, you know what, just give me the damn epidural. I cannot take it anymore. I cannot take it anymore. My body was going into shock. Have you ever felt pain that your body is going into shock? That's how bad it was. I knew something was wrong, but I did not know what. So the night doctor finally comes and he's like, I don't know if anyone had told you this, but the baby's heart rate is below, I think, 1 something. I think it starts becoming a concern when it's below a certain rate. And I was like, excuse me. In the pain I was in, like, everything was just a blur to me. They like adjusted the pads on my belly to see if it was just position wise, but that did not help. So they did insert like a certain tube that was going to touch like the baby's head, and it will also help like record the baby's heart rate. Once they put that tube in, it was all fine, but then after a while it went back down. And at this point, they had brought me like the papers for the epidural. Like right around when I was about to sign, he came in again and he was like, I'm sorry, I thought this was going to help the baby's heart rate go up, but it is not. You have to get a C-section. I'm like, what? They're like, the dilation is nowhere close. If we keep you any longer, you and the baby will be at risk. I took a deep breath. I was like, I think at some point, oh yeah, when I was feeling pain, I was like, I can't do this, I can't do this. My mom, being so dramatic, thought I was saying I want to die, that I can't do this. We do sign the consent, we sign everything. They take us into the theater, they do the spinal tap to like numb me for the C-section. I lie down, my husband is in there with me, and they do the surgery. I can't see it because they put like the blind, so I can't see. And baby is born.
The heat lamp here, get her a little bit warmer. 5 pounds, 2 ounces. Will you take some pictures of that? Okay.
They go ahead and sew me up and do all that and bring me back into my room. I couldn't feel anything, you know, with the spinal tap you can barely feel anything. I couldn't feel anything. The next day, people say they feel the pain. I couldn't really still feel the pain. I was still pretty much numb, and honestly I wasn't in my right state of mind. At that point they had to stop my magnesium because my level of consciousness was kind of low. My words were slurred, I was slow. They had to still keep me on fluids because I couldn't eat. I hadn't passed gas. You know, obviously when you have a surgery you have to pass gas and stuff like that. Blood pressure was fine at this point. They did give me a blood pressure medication like right at the beginning before they started the induction as well. Once I went into the hospital, they did my hemoglobin was like 9.7. They did the urine test again. Protein at this time was 1300, and the protein to creatinine ratio was a problem. It was like 6,860, which is extremely high, and so it was like a major concern. Start me on fluids, and then they gave me like blood pressure medication. So after the surgery, hemoglobin was low but not so bad. It was like 10, and then the protein at this time was like 5,000 and something, which had gone down but was still high, so they were still concerned about my kidney functions. My creatinine was not good as well, it was low, and so I was still on the fluids. They gave me a bunch of boluses, and then come evening they rechecked my labs. At this point my hemoglobin had gone down to like 7 point something, which like was a call for concern. So they gave me 1 unit of blood and rechecked it the next morning, but it was not better. It was still like 7.4. So they gave me another unit of blood, and then they did a CT scan. Unfortunately, the CT scan showed that I had an internal bleed going on, and so they were a little bit concerned about that. That evening, they rechecked my hemoglobin, and it was like 7.2. I told them that could they just give my body some time, let it like recharge and see if my body helps itself. So in the morning, they rechecked my hemoglobin, but instead of like going up or anything, it had gone down more to like 6 point. At this point was a concern, and so they went and did another CT scan, but this time around with dye. The CT scan showed the bleed was not increasing, it was stable, it was still in the same place, and so they were more comfortable with that. And so they were like, okay, if we give you more blood and it doesn't help at this point, we may have to open you back up and see what's going on. With a 6 point, it was a little bit scary, so they put me down for 2 more units. So they gave me 2 units of blood, and fortunately my hemoglobin went back up. At this point my kidney functions have become also normal, and so it was like more positive for me. The next day they rechecked my vitals, they checked everything. Blood pressure was looking good, it was still high. Hemoglobin at this point was 10 point, so everything was looking better. And so they kept me till like afternoon. If the hemoglobin still stayed the same, then they were gonna release me. I came in on Tuesday and that was Sunday. Come afternoon, at noon, they come and rechecked all my vitals again. They rechecked my labs and everything came back. I was happy. When I came back home, I'm not gonna lie, I was sore, but more so I was grateful. I was grateful to God for helping me through this time. There were so many emotions involved. Definitely, I'm happy I had my family by my side, best friend, because without them it was really a very trying situation. I'm happy for my baby. Having this experience for your first pregnancy was a little bit scary for me, and up to now I still think about it and still have the whole process kind of going through my mind. If there are moms out there that have almost the same situation as mine or had their own challenges, reach out, let's talk about it, because it's going to help with talking about it. Sometimes I find myself wanting to talk about it, but people don't want to talk about it with me. They're like, the situation has passed, don't think about it anymore. But I feel like I need to talk about it and get comfortable with it, because I'm not yet comfortable with it. It was a time. It was really a time. It was a moment for me, but I'm glad everything is fine. Everything is back to normal. I'm healing pretty well. I'm gaining back my energy. I'm being more positive. I love my baby so much, and I want to be the best mom I can be for my baby. Thanks to my family, thanks to my friends, thanks to all those who checked on me. I am super grateful for each and every one of you. Please don't forget to like, comment, and be there for your loved ones, because they need you every time. Please check on them, okay? Ciao.